The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie in green pastures. He maketh a table in front of in the presence of my enemy. I feel like throughout my life, anyone who tried to get on top of me, like God has always had my back. I feel like I'm very protected by God. That's why it's like my special verse, because it's basically saying you're eating in front of your enemies. Like for you to be eating, that means you're relaxed, you're not worried. That's a deep meaning, yeah. Joshua is a normal guy. Joshua is a calm, just quiet person. I like to be to myself. I don't really like talking much, I'm a bit shy. Joshua's in a transition stage, so like Joshua's transitioning to better things, from negative to positive, basically, yeah. There's a big saying, you're raised 50% by your parents, 50% by your environment. So when I'm at home, my parents tell me the right things to do, that's normal. When I'm outside, I'm with my boys, and my boys are completely different. And I just felt like it was normal, like where I'm from, that's just how everyone acts. Like everyone just acts the same as me. If everyone acts the same as me, I just didn't see anything wrong with it. When I was in primary school, I used to see in the bus stop, you would see people literally smashing each other's heads with bricks in and things like that. It was just normal. Like, I'll be with my friend and get 6 and would see like an older, I'll see knives get pulled out. It's just normal for us. Then when I actually got myself exposed to violence, what's my first incident? I'll say like in year 7. When I went to secondary school, things changed. I remember I had my first fight in year 7, and when the elders approach you, never look down. Make sure like you show no fear. So elders would try to bully me and I wouldn't have it. And that's most of the time, that's what led to my arguments. And most of the time, I'll be having fights with older guys. And sometimes I came out on top, so it was kind of weird. Like, I don't want to smile about it, but sometimes I'll lose. I'll say I had a fight, and then I got excluded for it. And I remember I got in so much trouble when I got home, because I've never got in that kind of trouble before. Ever since then, after my first exclusion, just didn't stop after that. By 16, all my boys was like in prison and it. So I was lucky enough not to go to prison. Everyone that comes out of prison, it's like they've lost it mentally, like completely. Like you can just tell. Then after that, it's just the cycle, in and out of jail. Or some people unfortunately die, yeah. The hood is like a community, like everyone knows each other. He knows my mum, I know your mum. If I see your mum, I'd greet her. Even if I didn't know you, I've seen you around the area, so once my boys started getting involved in the streets, they would link up with other people. I would get involved too. You can either get along with the other group or a war starts. Once a war starts, you start beefing people in other areas, but once that is finished and you stop beefing people in other areas, like what people need to understand is that postcode war stuff, you're talking 2008, that's not what's going on at all right now. Like most of the time it's internal. It's like your friend killing you. That's what people don't understand. You're more likely to get killed by your friend than you are by your enemy, because your enemy doesn't know where you are. Your enemy doesn't know what you do every day, doesn't know how you move. Another thing that bugs me out is that people will literally like try to kill each other, and then the elders will get involved, make you sit down, talk it out, and then you have to be best friends again. But that person just try to shoot you, and that person just try to chop you. I'm just like, oh, that makes no sense. Like it's so crazy. Like, very, 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 very bad. Like very bad, like so bad. You see, when you want to change, it comes in stages. Like something will happen, then I'll be like, I need to change. I'll change a little bit for the better, but then something happen again, then I'll change a bit more. It's kind of been a process. So like, I basically stopped living with my parents. I haven't lived with my parents since I was 16. I stopped living with my parents, then lived with my auntie for like a year and a half. Our auntie didn't want me either. Being homeless makes you feel like no one actually cares about you, because all them homeless people have families that are sleeping somewhere, and you're thinking your own flesh and blood are letting you sleep outside. And if your own flesh and blood can leave you, That means no one out there has got you, trust me, that's what that means. Being homeless, that means that person hasn't gone through one situation, he hasn't gone through two situations. That guy's been through a lot. Humans in third world countries have shelter, and people in this country can't even spare change, and I feel everyone's just like, oh, why are homeless people not happy? Like, it's the person. You feel like you're trapped. There's no options. Because if you had the option, you wouldn't sleep outside, trust me. You wouldn't be homeless. If they told you their story, you wouldn't think the person's a lawyer that maybe got divorced and then he lost everything and now he's homeless. And you can't blame the system for everything, but definitely the system is a factor. 40% to blame, yeah, definitely. I feel like the system should have a set of laws for set cases, because the system is so old and backwards. If you're homeless now, you have to wait on a waiting list, and the waiting list, unless you have a crazy special health need, like not mental, I'm talking about physically, like they just don't really care. When I went to live with my brother, it kind of burnt me because by now I'd been homeless, and now my parents said they didn't want me to live with them. My auntie said she didn't want me to live at hers. At this stage, I don't even think I was talking to my brother, I wasn't talking to my sister. There were stages I wouldn't talk to my parents for like 6-7 months. Cool, I had pride and everything, but deep down, before you sleep, that stuff will be on your mind, and it starts to get to you. Man, I remember when I moved away, I felt like really alone, and over time, even though I was changing for the better, I wasn't fully changed. Being away from London made me stay away from all like the violence and all the beef. So I wasn't getting in trouble anymore. But then someone from London basically came to live with me for a bit. And as soon as I mixed back with my London friends, I got in trouble again. So I remember before I slept one night, something was just like, bro, you moved from London, you haven't got, like at these times I haven't had any like violence for like 6 months, and that's a good, like back then, that's a good stretch for me. Like I haven't had any violence for 6 months. I was just like, you're so close to actually doing better with yourself. What are you doing? You're not even in London, you haven't got no trouble here, you're trying to start trouble, and I was just like, think properly. So the next day I basically got rid of everything. I was like, I'm gonna start afresh. I even told my way that I was like, bro, I'm gonna go finish my college. I'm trying to get to this uni. Bro, if I can get to uni, my life has changed basically. I can change my whole life. 2-3 days have passed. I went to college, come back. For some reason, my front door is wide open. I'm like, why is my front door wide open? Like, what's going on? I'm thinking maybe someone's left the door open. I'm about to go shout at someone, cool, come in. A random lady grabs me. I'm like, who are you? Then clicked in straight away. I'm like, oh my days, these are feds. Cool, yeah. So she grabbed me, no talking, all cuffed. I've gone into the other room and my brother's in that already cuffed. Like the house is just being raided. They're like, we've got intel that this address is da. So they've checked everyone in the system, and obviously all my brother and cousins are clean. When it came to me, it was just like, oh yeah, like I'm known. Then as soon as they found out I'm known, they brought a dog in to search the house again. I just went quiet. Then they finished their search, they didn't find. When police don't find nothing, the look they give you is like hatred. It's like, you wanted me to be a criminal. They kind of look like, oh, I can't believe you didn't have no drugs or guns. So they've left. Everyone in the house was so angry at me because everyone knows it was my fault. And I just sat down and I fully deeped it. Like, if this was 3 days ago, I wouldn't be out of prison right now. I'll still be in prison. My whole life could have changed completely. And I already quit, so for this to even happen, I felt like God made that happen on purpose. He wanted to double stick it in my head, like, you quit a couple days ago, but look what happened 3 days after. Imagine if that happened to me 3 days ago. So I felt like God really wanted me to learn that lesson. And from that, I was just like, nope, I'm definitely going to uni. I said, I'm done with all of this. I said, I'm going to uni. I came to uni, so I'm done.
Today's a new day, but there is no sunshine. Nothing but clouds, and it's dark in my heart, and it feels like a cold night. Today's a new day.
I don't want to compare my life to other people's, but I look at other people's situation and it really makes me appreciate where I'm at. I'm doing the best I could ever be doing in life, and I feel like God's definitely got me.
See, I almost gave up, but a power that I can't explain. It fell from heaven like a shower now. Oh.
The church is family, love, it's real, and that they don't judge you. I feel like it's a different environment. It's an environment where it's not fake love. I'm talking specifically about my church. So people care more about the positives of my life than people who've been in my life all my life. Most of the time, other people, the love is always fake. So it's nice to know it's real.